Over the past decade, Apple optimized itself into a multi-trillion-dollar machine. Under Tim Cook, they locked down their supply chains and prioritized massive recurring revenue from services like iCloud. They thrived on predictable, iterative updates. But massive scale introduces a difficult trade-off. When a company reaches this size, avoiding failure often becomes more important than chasing innovation. The sheer weight of their own reputation forces them to prioritize stability over risk. You can trace this defensive posture to a few high-profile stumbles. Take the Vision Pro, a massive engineering effort that landed with a thud. Then there was AirPower. Apple hyped up a charging mat only to cancel it completely when physics didn't cooperate. When Apple flops, it makes global headlines. So they stopped taking big swings. That defensive approach resulted in a graveyard of unattempted ideas and a formulaic hardware lineup. Year after year, we got minor variations of the exact same devices, until a few months ago. Out of nowhere, the company's stubborn design philosophy started working in reverse. Their long-standing focus on form over function was quietly put on hold. For years, Apple laptops were notoriously thin, lacking essential ports and prone to severe overheating. That was the undisputed hallmark of their previous design era. Now, those thermal-throttled machines are gone. In their place, we have thicker Apple Silicon MacBook Pros. They prioritize utility, packing larger batteries, better cooling, and functional ports like HDMI and SD card readers built right back into the chassis. They also abruptly broke from their standard luxury pricing. The M-series Mac Mini dropped to $599, becoming an undeniable value. Then came the MacBook Neo at $600, actively undercutting the entire Windows laptop industry. The most profit-optimized, stubborn tech giant in the world suddenly started shipping aggressive, consumer-friendly hardware. To understand why this shift happened, you must look at who is actually calling the shots. These physical changes to the Mac lineup are actually symptoms of a quiet revolution happening inside Apple Park. Recently, there's been a highly orchestrated mass exodus at the highest levels. A significant cluster of 65-year-old C-suite executives retired simultaneously, handing control of Apple over to a much younger generation of internal leaders. The transition reached its peak last week when Tim Cook officially announced he is stepping down as CEO to take a chairman role on the board of directors. The entire corporate structure has pivoted. The executives who prioritized logistics and services have stepped back, setting the stage for a leader with a drastically different resume. That new leader is John Ternus. While Tim Cook used his mastery of the global supply chain to guide the company through wild economic climates, Ternus operates with a different focus. Ternus previously served as the Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering. He spends his days in the chip labs. He obsesses over materials, device repairability, and raw physical performance. He is a pure product guy, and he's surrounding himself with similar minds. Hardware veterans like Johnny Srouji, the architect behind Apple Silicon, are moving up to lead overarching hardware technologies. You could already see this power shift during the MacBook Neo announcement. Tim Cook normally gives the patented Good Morning intro, but for the Neo, Ternus completely owned the presentation and introduced the device himself. These disruptive releases clarify the new hierarchy. A hardware engineer is now making the final decisions for the world's largest tech company. With an engineer at the top, the mandate to avoid failure is lifting. Apple is preparing to take major risks on physical devices again. This is a distinct shift even from the Steve Jobs days. Jobs was a visionary who understood marketing and strategy and occasionally dove into the nitty-gritty. Ternus is bringing pure engineering grit to the top job. We are already seeing the roadmap for these experimental projects. Ternus is reportedly spearheading the development of highly anticipated form factors, including the long-rumored folding iPhone expected this September. After years of recycling old components into predictable upgrades, Apple is finally willing to break its rigid formula and take massive, thoughtful swings at completely new hardware concepts. But there is a catch. While the hardware engineering division is hitting its stride, the software side is actively struggling to keep pace. Look closely at these displays. Features like macOS Tahoe, Liquid Glass, and the rollout of Apple Intelligence have felt bumpy. There is a visible gap in quality right now between the physical devices and the code running on them. Beautifully machined aluminum and efficient silicon don't matter if the operating system is buggy and the AI integrations feel dated or broken. Ternus has already proven he can build incredible physical products. If he can force the software division to match that exact same standard, Apple is about to enter its most aggressive, interesting period in over a decade.